So the schedule has been kind of crazy, right? I mean, back-to-back already. Got another back-to-back tomorrow, and it's kind of been every day. I watched baseball this year for 162 days. I watched baseball, a lot of baseball. Not just my Cardinals, but a lot of baseball. They're in the World Series now. They played games Friday, Saturday, and Monday. We played Friday, Saturday, Monday. So tonight I get to watch Game 4, and it's 3-0. Woo!
Excited, huh?
Yeah.
Jumping for joy.
Yeah, go Yankees. Go get them. Go get them. You know, you can't come back all the way until you win that first one. So, yeah, go get them, Yankees.
How about somebody ask the Yankees manager afterwards, like, so, you're down 0-3. Like, what do you do next? I give him a lot of credit because he gave about a 45-second answer to a question that most managers, coaches, whatever at that point would not have given a tangible answer. It would have been something smart. So I gave him credit for that.
Yeah.
But what the hell was the question? What are you going to do now?
What are you going to do now?
We're trying to win the next game. What the hell else are we going to do? We're going to go out there and tell the Dodgers, great series. Here's your world championship.
Yeah. My favorite 3-0 quote of all time. Grizzlies were playing the Spurs, and it was the year we played them in the first round, and everybody was hurt. Zebo was like the only guy playing.
Yes.
And the Grizzlies are down 3-0, and, you know, Believe was the big thing that year. And I'll never forget, Mike Sadie said to Zach, he said, "Do you guys still believe?" And Zach went, "Yeah, we believe."
We got a chance.
Yeah, we believe. I was like, man, that is funny stuff. It was hysterical. Anyway, welcome to Night Court, everybody. I hope the World Series has been great. If you've been watching the World Series, Freddie Freeman, it looks like he's going to win the MVP.
Three games, 3 home runs.
Yeah, including the winner.
The Kirk Gibson winner.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't do it all, but he's out there hobbling on an ankle.
Yeah. And you know that happened at the exact same time, 36 years apart.
Are you serious?
Yeah. How about that?
Did the Dodgers win the World Series that year?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I watched Game 4 tonight. That's why I'm going.
Right.
That's why I'm going to dinner. I'm not even watching. I'm going to dinner.
Welcome to Night Court. Brevin Knight, Rob Fisher with you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching the podcast. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Of course, if you haven't watched before, you can do that on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. Just search Night Court, and you'll be able to watch the episode as well. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. I'm at The Fish Nation. He's at Brevin Knight 22. The show at Night Court 22. All right, I have just words, one word for every Grizzlies game so far. This is what I wrote down because I wrote them down because I wanted to make sure we went over them, and then I just wrote one word next to them. All right, win at Utah, Santi! Exclamation point, Santi! Lose at Houston, physical.
Yes.
Win against Orlando, bench.
Fantastic.
Lose to Chicago, damn it! That's the word I went with for the Chicago loss.
I don't think I can beat that.
Is that good? Is that a good word association?
I think that hit it on the head. And it's probably the same. It's probably the word that so many people use.
Leaving the arena,
or turning the TV off when it happened. One or the other, because it was such a high. And it finished at such a low for those that were watching, those in attendance. And listen, number one, first and foremost, you give the Chicago Bulls major credit in terms of how they continued to play, even getting down 20 early. But we always say, if you're going to get down early.
Yep.
Because number one, the team that gets up, it's just a human nature that foot comes off just a little on the pedal. Or you try something that you otherwise wouldn't have tried. And then the other team, they're playing desperate basketball the entire way through. And Chicago played desperate, and that desperation led to the 25 threes that they were able to knock down, which was phenomenal because it was the type threes that they kept getting. They kept getting good look after good look. And a lot of it was just off of a high pick and roll. It's something that the Grizzlies in the past have had issues with being able to defend it. And it's not just the two people in the pick and roll, it's the next player. And they didn't do a good job of it in that second half, and Chicago exploited it.
All right, let's go through them quickly since they've happened in the last week since we last talked. The Utah win, I look at that first of all as good road win. I mean, tough place to play, tough place to win, regardless of how good they are. We've seen it's a very difficult place to play. So got away with a win there. Good to have John Dez on the floor, and when you have John Dez on the floor, good things happen.
I say when they're both on the floor, I feel like it is the Grizzlies have put themselves in the greatest chance position to win a basketball game. What Dez has been able to do every year with getting better, and then you have your superstar in Ja Morant, and then he gets you over the top. We always say, complete basketball teams, your role guys, your secondary star, they're the ones that make sure that you have a chance to win in the end. And then your star wins it in the end. And the Grizzlies were able to make the plays down the stretch in Utah to get a good win at a place that success has not come a lot to this organization.
No. Then you go to Houston. First half's good.
Great first half.
Play well. It continued on, playing well. Everything's going well. And then the third quarter happened. Punched in the face. Punked, as Coach Jenkins said.
Hey, listen, it was Ime Udoka-esque basketball game in that second half. The way that he played the game when he was a player, and Houston came out and they just took the basketball game. They came out with a little bit more force, a little more fire, and the offensive rebounds. I think they had 20 offensive rebounds in that game, and that was just their want was more than the Grizzlies in that second half. And it was just, and it was a theme. It's a theme that was a past theme. It's a theme that's kind of started this year in terms of being able to have the energy to start the game and play at a certain level, but come out of the locker room with just a notch below that then allows your opponent a chance to get back into the game. And so that was the difference in that basketball game, their physicality.
Yeah, it really was. And we thought that might be the same thing against Orlando. Orlando turned out to be a perfect night. I mean, the crowd was great. It was electric. That was loud. That was back to the playoffs a couple of years ago.
Yes.
The team played great. The bench played great. It got off to a massive lead. It was just a great night. They had a little boost of energy, even though it was a second night of a back-to-back.
Yeah, the arena was the reason why they had the energy to get through that game. I mean, the fans were fantastic.
Yeah.
We saw opening night in Utah, and it was very regular game-esque.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't an opening night vibe at all.
No.
We came home and we had an opening night vibe, and so it was fun. Now I don't know how much the players knew who all of the acts and entertainers were. I mean, they're a little bit too young probably to know who they are. We had Quad City DJs doing the train at halftime. Those dudes don't know what that is. But for everyone else in the arena, especially for us, the older crowd, they were all out there doing, come on, around this train. Hey. Had people, they were all over doing it. So it was a fun night, and then culminated with the team playing very well to get the W.
Yeah, the bench was awesome. 66 bench points in that game. Then the Chicago game happens, and you have another, just like Houston, a great first half in lead by 10 going into the second half, and then the third quarter happens.
Again, somehow they had to change the routine. I told you that I was on a team, and I don't remember. I wanted to say maybe it was Charlotte, and we would have bad third quarters. And we came out and did layup line at halftime to get ready, just to do something different. It was
Change the routine a little?
Got to change the routine, because you think a lot of times at halftime, a lot of guys may stroll out there with a couple minutes on the clock. Some guys may never shoot or do anything, but you don't do that to start the game.
Right.
To start the basketball game, you get up shots, you go through a layup line, you get up more shots, and then you do another layup line before you start the game. At halftime, everyone does their own individual thing. And I think for this Grizzlies team, it's just having to find a way to create the same type of fire and energy that you had to start a game, It's just the other thing is they've done a good job of having leads at the half.
Yeah.
Now you got to learn how to play with a lead and how you have the same intensity, because you know the other team, number one, is going to make adjustments, and number two, they're going to come out and play desperate because they're behind.
Yeah. You lose to Chicago. My overreaction, of course, is we're 2-2, we're a 500 team. I mean that's what we are.
It's still early.
That's how I felt last night, Robin.
Well, for me, it was just
because my reaction was, damn it. That was my reaction.
Well, mine was more. You start to think long term, in that if you think this Western Conference is going to be as tough as it is, you can't just kick away victories.
Right.
And last night I felt like they gave away a victory. Now, you can make it up somewhere else. You win a big game, you do something.
Steal one somewhere.
Exactly. So but this is a season, I think, more than any season, for all of the teams that consider themselves to be contenders, can't give away games.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have, there's going to be, every night's going to be a tough game, whether you're playing in the Western Conference or Interconference with the Eastern.
Yeah. And hopefully, I hope Ja's back, right?
Yeah, it didn't seem like it was anything of consequence.
Yeah. It'll be interesting with this back-to-back.
No, I can fight, I can throw hands, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, man, I can do that, you know what I'm saying? So I started saying, you know what, I want to get into boxing. And I just met a MMA coach, you know, but everybody call him UFC anyway, you know what I'm saying? So I just met an MMA coach. And like basically, like Brian Hall, bro, it's like once I started training, I found out how much I didn't know, bro. I'm always a person, I believe in the truth. It's like, I want to, what's the truth? Like, I believe, if you say you're the truth, man, you know what I'm saying? What's the truth? And the truth was, I couldn't fight at all. Zero. Like, zero, bro. Like, at all. I say the first, 2 years with me just, like, learn, like processing how hard, like, how real it was, and, like, how, like, you know what I'm saying? Nothing, like, you being angry, you feeling like everything you went through in the hood really mattered. Like, you seeing people die, none of that mattered when I was grappling against this white kid that never knew nothing about the hood. He was choking me out. So I started saying, like,
Trevor had your
bro, like.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
When you look at the AAC and all the expectations for this team and what they needed to get done, you have Tulane in the way, who's undefeated in conference, but you have a chance to go beat them at the end of the season. I very much expect this team to be 10-1 going into that game against Tulane.
Right.
But when we look at the two teams that are also ahead of you in the standings, you have Army and you have Navy. And neither one of those teams play each other in the regular season, because I don't know why the AAC decided that won't be a conference game, but whatever. It is what it is. But you just look at those teams' path, man, and it seems like even if this Tiger team goes 11-1, they may not actually get to the AAC championship. So you're going to have to hope for 2 losses from Navy or the 1 loss from Army to North Texas on the road, and then you're going to have to hope you win a tiebreaker.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Some serious injuries though this week in the NBA. DeJounte Murray fractures his hand. He's out 4 to 6 weeks.
I think they're just happy it's 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And that it happened at this time so that he can't, because he's going to be a huge contributor to that team. It's going to allow C.J. McCollum. It's going to allow Brandon Ingram. It's going to allow Zion for them to all be at their best with him being on the floor.
Yeah. Also, James Wiseman tears his Achilles.
So I hate to hear that for him, because I think he was going to get another real chance to see if he can make it in this league. And so you hate to hear injuries that are season long, because it's not just the injury. I always say it's also, people don't think about the mental side of this is what I do all the time, and all of a sudden now I don't do it at all. Like, I can't practice. I can't do, even if you're not playing in the games, you're still around the guys. And for injured people, a lot of times, the not being around is worse than the not playing.
Right.
In those instances.
Taylor Hendricks, second-year forward for the Jazz, left last night's game against the Mavericks on a stretcher after suffering what was described as a gruesome non-contact leg injury. He suffered a fractured right fibula and a dislocated ankle.
Those are the ones you like.
I read that story and it said, "Here's the video. Don't watch. It's gruesome." And I didn't watch. I didn't watch it.
No, I don't want to watch.
Especially after I saw it was the injury was. I was like, I can't. I don't want to see this one.
So my brother had a compound fracture of his fibula tibia where it came out of his leg when he ended his career.
Yeah.
Now he has a steel rod down his leg, and to watch him, because I was playing in Charlotte, he was in Asheville, and so he had his surgery done in Charlotte, and so I watched him rehab. He stayed with me while he rehabbed, and just to see the process, it was just like I don't ever want to see those type injuries and what it looks like.
Ooh, no, not at all. Lower leg muscle strain will keep Steph Curry out for at least 2 games. He's going to be reevaluated on a Friday. So, but he'll be all right.
He'll be fine.
Paulo Banchero scored 50.
Yeah, like 36.
51.
36 or 38 in the first half.
Yeah, I think it was 37 actually, right in the middle there. Reached 50 for the first time in his career. Had 51 in a 119-115 victory over the Pacers last night. He's pretty good, huh?
He's the future of the game. For those stars, and it's nice for that Orlando market again to have a star to get behind again and be a team that people would love to go and see. I'm happy. I'm happy for them and shucks. I'm happy for Jamal Mosley because he's doing it. He's a great mix of what the old and the new is. Hold you accountable, still let you play, tough-minded, still have fun. The expectations help you get to those expectations. I think it's a great mix of a guy who has the innate ability to communicate, but still get on guys.
And Orlando's pretty good. Is Jalen Suggs the point guard?
Yeah, I think he. Yes, I think defensive pressure is good. He's really worked on his perimeter shot. We saw him in the second half. What he did to us. I think he was made 1 3 in the first half. Came out and made 5 or 6 in the second half. And so I think he definitely, and he gives them size. They're a team that nobody's gonna talk about, like in the media world, the big world. But those that are within the NBA, especially the Eastern Conference, we don't want to see them. We don't want to see them.
This breaking news. After 17 NBA seasons, this player, he was the number 8 pick in the 2006 draft out of UConn, averaged 16 points and 5.5 boards across 1,120 career games for the Grizzlies, Raptors, Kings, Spurs, and Jazz.
Oh, old boy Rudy.
Happy retirement to Rudy Gay.
Congratulations, Rudy.
Nice 17 seasons. That's a nice career Rudy Gay put together.
That's a lot of years, man. That's a lot of 17.
And to his credit, was a guy that I think adjusted his game as needed as his career went on. Adjusted it to his ability as his career went on.
Yeah, and what those teams needed him to be.
Yeah.
You think about it, he started out here, he had to be the go-to guy, the man they leaned on, and then as Zebo comes and as it changes something, his role changed. And then he moves on, but when he does move on, he's still impactful where he was, and he was never a problem.
Yeah.
Like, you'll never hear anybody say anything about Rudy Gay other than the talent that he was.
Yeah. And we'll never forget when Rudy Gay beat Toronto and that fan. Oh, no, Rudy Gay!
That was the best.
That was one of the funniest things ever. All right, this week for the Grizzlies, we have Brooklyn
Brooklyn.
next, and
I mean, that's just a
You got to take
team.
care of business.
You got it. You have to beat Brooklyn. Here's the other thing is you wanted this. This was a home court advantage for the Grizzlies team. And when you have these type homestands, you want to take advantage of the homestand. And so they're 1-1 at this point. You would like to say you want to finish 3-1. Now you got a tough one on the backside with Milwaukee.
Do you?
I mean, because of the name players. Now you don't know team-wise. They're one at this jump. Well, we're talking. They're 1-3.
Starting five's not that good. I mean, they got what? Two guys.
Yeah, but those two guys are supposed to. This is what those two guys are supposed to be. What gets you over? Adrian Griffin wasn't good enough to get them to the promised land. These two gonna get you there with Doc Rivers, and it didn't come close to it last year, and they're off to this slow start this year. So we'll see what happens.
Then we go to Philadelphia. Take on the Sixers.
We don't know who will be playing.
Yeah, George is still out, I guess.
Well, at least you saw Paul George. You saw his injury.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no questioning what happened with him. That was you never like to see that hyperextension, the knee going straight like that.
Yeah.
And he's battled enough injuries, but you got New York, and then you turn around and play Brooklyn again.
Yeah, Brooklyn again on the road.
On the road. So this is a week where did you let one go? They let one. I think they would have to say they let one go in the Chicago game. But you have other winnable situations, and then you have another road trip, a little 2-game road trip, where you have a good chance to either win both or at least come back with a 1-1 record.
Yeah. All right. NFL weekend. Did you see? Were you watching the Commanders and Bears finish?
Yeah. Yes.
You were watching it live?
Not live.
Oh, okay.
I turned right when it happened. Donovan texted me like, the Hail Mary, did you see it? And I was like, I didn't see nothing. I didn't see it. So I saw it then. What I do realize is we have the worst quarterback in the NFC East, meaning the Giants.
Oh.
I mean, Dak is not playing great, but there's a lot of other factors with why he's not playing great.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones hasn't been good, and there's factors, and a lot of it is the fact that our front office feels like they're bigger than players. And I tell you, front office people don't win games.
No.
You don't win games. Like, you put the players out there to help you be able to win the game, and you let our best player walk. He kicks our ass last week with Philadelphia, and now we have no playmakers. You get the young kid Neighbors, but he's young. Like, with the rest of the team, you got nothing. This is and I give no grace. To hell with we were close. I'm tired of close. When you close for the last 10 years, that equals ass. And that's exactly what the Giants have been.
All right. I'm watching Red Zone yesterday.
Okay.
Or Sunday. And literally, right before the Commanders thing, there were 4 games that all were in the last minute. At
the witching
same time.
hour?
The witching hour. And literally, I lost 4 bets in 30 seconds, and Scott Hansen's losing his mind. He's like, and another touchdown, can you believe it? I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And then you had the top left box, they score a touchdown, can you believe it? And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? I just kept losing, and he's going crazy.
Who's the guy before Scott Hansen? Remember him?
I forget his
I
name.
didn't think that they could replace him because he was really good.
Yeah.
Well, Scott has done a fan.
Scott's great. He's great. Did you see Jameis at all this weekend?
Oh, did I?
Did you see the pregame interview?
I didn't see the pregame. I just saw the postgame.
The postgame when he talked about that little white boy in Detroit, Eminem.
Man, he went into a sermon, man. The man was a preacher. Let me tell you, when you
only got one shot.
Listen, when somebody's preaching, the eyes never open. He did that. He did the first question and never opened his eyes. He thanked the team, the fans. Of course, he thanked the Lord up above. And he talked like this for about 45 seconds and the entire time. It was a sermon.
He's unbelievable. More Jameis. And they beat the Ravens, which was pretty
Wow, that was huge. That was a big win. And there are those type wins in play. There's those times that kind of just change your season. I don't know where the Browns would go, but this could at least put them in a position to compete on a regular basis.
Yeah, well, it certainly gives them a little confidence. And I think having a quarterback makes them a lot more confident in themselves, too.
Yeah, I mean, and you never like to see someone get hurt. like with the way with Deshaun Watson, but just haven't been good.
No.
Like,
No.
he hasn't been good since he signed.
No, and Jameis was great, and his quotes were great. Big one in college football this week: Ohio State, Penn State. Does that mean anything to you?
That means that Tommy's gonna be talking
Yeah,
a whole bunch.
yeah.
But does it mean anything to me?
No,
No.
no.
No, it doesn't move the needle one bit for me.
Okay.
I mean, I wish I could. I
I want to see if James Franklin
Okay.
can win a big game, a meaningful game.
No, I.
And Ohio State, this would be meaningful. They're ranked 3rd in the country, and Ohio State's 4. So, and it's at home. So let's see if they can win a meaningful game, because they've had too many opportunities with great teams that have just come up with 2 losses, 3 losses that derail their season. Maybe this is the team that won't happen to, but I want to see it before I believe it.
Well, the good thing I can say for this, the good thing in college football is there have been so many high-ranking matchups that it'll make for a good match. Like I'll watch it and turn it on because it's just 2 high-ranked teams. That's why I've been watching college football in these games. Which 2 ranked high teams are playing? Oh, let's watch those teams.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been fun to see how many of those games that there have been throughout the season.
Yeah. So on the plane, I watched Dr. Odyssey.
Well, you told me. I look over and see.
It's horrendous. It's as horrendous as advertised. I mean, it's just terrible. I mean, Don Johnson's just the old captain who he misses his wife, but he just goes dancing with the lady on like the first night. It's all sex and smut, and then a couple of doctor things. There are three people, 1 doctor and 2, I guess, nurses that are on board this ship, the Odyssey, and he's Dr. Odyssey. He's Pacey from Dawson's Creek.
Another show that I don't watch. Never.
And I mean, dude's having a heart attack and they're operating, but it's only 3 people and it's not a lot of machines. So it's,
How do you watch?
It's one of the worst shows. I watched 2 episodes and it's one of the worst shows I've ever seen.
Those are ones you keep watching.
And I know, and I might watch number 3.
No, I watched the Aaron Hernandez thing on Disney.
Really?
On Disney Plus.
And how was that?
It's a different angle than all the other ones. They really dive into his personal life, and it's that means that's it. Time to stop talking. But yeah, no, I watched it and I got upset because I thought that the series was done. Like I thought it was done, and I was watching it, binging it.
Right.
So I get to the 7th episode and it gets done, and I'm like, all right, and it's like, all right, that's it. And I'm like, okay, so we're just going to stop right here at the first shooting, and we're not going to get to the trial or anything. Come to find out, like, there's more episodes that have to be released. So it's still a weekly thing.
So now
you know
you're
how
on hold.
much. Yeah, you know how much I hate the whole weekly release thing.
Yeah.
I am the worst that I'll wait till next week to watch another one. But I think one came out here, so I get a chance to watch. But that's been there was some. I guess this is loosely based on in some way, but I didn't know.
Yeah. How about that? But
Yeah,
it's good? You watched.
Zebo.
Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, I believe.
All right, toast.
You got one?
I got a couple.
I got one.
All right.
I'll let you start with one, then I'll do my one.
Okay. Toast to Avery Bradley. We had a chance to see Avery Bradley in Utah at the Grizzlies Jazz game, and I felt bad because I walked by him and he looked at me like, he literally looked at me, and I thought he looked at me like, aren't you going to say hi? And I was like, who is that? And I couldn't say hi because I was like, so I just kind of gave a nod.
You gave a nod? You gave a bro nod?
I gave a nod.
Okay. You hanging out with me too much?
And then you and I went out and hung out by the fire for a while, pregame.
We had a lot of time.
And then we went back in, and you told me it was Avery Bradley. So I said hello to Avery Bradley, and just a super guy. And I wouldn't say he was a great Grizzly, but would have been a great Grizzly at the right time.
Yes. It would have been a nice transition from Tony.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a guy with that same mentality, does a little bit more on the offensive end with the NBA game, but he fit perfectly what the mode of grit and grind was.
Yeah. So that's too bad that he was here at just wrong timing. But super guy. Shout out to Avery Bradley.
My boy too.
Oh, shout out to Unique Snacks. Get them at Fresh Market. You can get all the great pretzel brands from Unique Snacks.
Oh, Lord. Jesus. This must be some type of personal deal there. Jeez.
All right, you got one.
Well, I'm going to stay in Utah and say I'm going to give a toast to my buddy Ronnie Price. My teammate in Utah. We played together. That 1 year I was there, and we forged a fantastic relationship. So he and I played some golf while we were in Utah.
Oh, yeah.
And I give him a toast because it's the only person in my entire life of playing basketball that made me touch the floor defensively.
Really?
It never happened, and we were in practice, and Ronnie was quick, dribble, and I guessed the move, and he made another move, and the body didn't all go together, and I had to touch the floor. I didn't go down.
Didn't go down.
But I had to touch the floor.
Yeah.
So shout out to my brother, Ronnie Price.
Yeah, Ronnie
We had a good time playing golf, and I don't know if I should shout you out for making me touch the floor, though.
All right, one more. To the refs in the Bama-Memphis game for earning their money in the game last night, calling 138 fouls, I believe it was. Holy crap. Their game...
Did everybody foul out?
Their game wasn't over until like our post game was over. And they play 40 minutes.
So this was a no foul game. We just forget the books. This had to be no... We just letting you do what you want to do.
I think it was an exhibition. I don't think there were foul outs.
Well, that was a problem. They needed to do at least like Summer League 10. You get to 10, bro, you got to sit down.
No, what was it, 96? 96?
96 foul.
That's a
Hey,
lot.
we got one more, too. We got to give our boy, J Huff.
J Huff, contract.
J Huff, got him a contract. Played phenomenal basketball. I'm not going to lie to you, Jay. I didn't know who the hell you were until you got here. But I'm glad I know who you are now because you've been playing fantastic. Come off the bench for the Grizzlies. Mm-hmm. Shout out.
Shout out J Huff. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us. Our alarm has already sounded.
Yes.
Thank you for watching here on Bluff City Media YouTube channel. Thank you for listening wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter. At The Fish Nation is where you can get me. At Brevin Knight 22 and at Night Court 22 is where you can get the show. That's all on X. That's gonna do it. Anything else? Closing thoughts? Anything? I'm done. I got nothing. I just didn't know how to.
I'm on Threads too, just so you know.
And he's on Threads at Go Cardinal 22.
Yes.
I'm on Threads at The Fish Nation _ All right.
That's it. I'm gonna play some golf today. Look at this weather.
All right. I gotta go to the dentist. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah. For Brevin, I'm Fish. Thanks for joining us. We will talk to you again next week here on Night Court.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to the Night Court podcast. If you enjoyed Rob and Brevin, hit that like button, subscribe to the Bluff City Media YouTube channel, and enjoy the content. We will see you back here next time.